Talks with Trap. Here I am with a familiar face. If you don't know, Crispy Akiyama.
Watch out.
Arigato, sir. So me and Crispy are here today in my humble abode, and we're just gonna talk life, how it's been lately, and what is to come.
Absolutely.
Where would you like to start? Where do we start?
Man, the most pressing thing I think is 120 acres.
Okay.
120 acres this last time was something unique because it was the last one that was going to be there. So 120 acres, basically, it happened the first time last year. Producer Trent Taylor, Tim, OKY, just like a bunch of us went out there to this mountain on 120 acres, this farm. We just all made beats and everything. And I'm downplaying it, just kind of talking about it like this, but we'll get in depth into it. Mm-hmm. And so for this time around to go through, for you to come out this time, because I remember I FaceTimed you when I went to the last one.
I recall.
And I was like, bro, you got to come out here. Like, there's just so much peace. It's just serenity. Like, it's a great vibe. You would enjoy this. So, like, you coming out there, what were some of your first impressions just for, getting a chance to meet certain people like Trent, Tim, and then what was your just overall experience, man? Your first impressions?
All right, well, my first impressions, and this is my first time being that far south in California. I've been to L.A., of course, through life, going to L.A., fucking around. But, so we're out in, like, the hills of San Diego. So that was my first time being out there, and it was just beautiful, man. You know me, I love being outside, so the property, we roll onto that thing and I was just like, damn, we out here. And I liked it, it's real secluded.
Yeah.
What's it called? But as far as, that was kind of my initial reaction. Like, this is, it was just a blessing to be there, and we talk about being at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And it just felt so right, you know what I'm saying? And it was a getaway, just to be in a whole nother fucking place, man, and just somewhere like that, meeting Trent for the first time, and it's funny because you told me, I think, something along the lines of what he said, and the same thing how I felt, and it was my first time meeting him, and you're like, Trent's my brother.
Yeah.
And then you referred to me, Trapper's my brother.
Yeah. So
we were both on different ends of it, and we got to meet each other for the first time. It's like, oh, this is who Crispy was always talking about.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, and then almost felt connected to him through that. And then to know that he was kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but like kind of the main event. Like there, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's the person responsible. So him and Tim had met. It's funny, I just talked to Trent last night for like an hour. And because we were talking about skateblockparty. And so how Trent met Tim is Trent was working on getting his music playlisted. And Tim had a playlist. Okay. And so they kind of brushing through it real quick, but they started forming a relationship, and then that's kind of how they came together, and 120 acres came through that. So yeah, Trent was the main event, but he's also the linchpin in all of this,
Yeah, and so for me to even be a part of it, I was grateful. Like, man, little old me, I guess I
big old you, man.
Hello.
Watch out.
I'm downplaying myself. But yeah, man, to be blessed with the opportunity to be there, and then Tim had all of his friends and people who don't know me, and I just, I wanted to be a good performer. They love rap music. Let me rap my ass off for you guys.
Yeah.
And be a good, have good stage presence, I was just like trying to be like, hey, thank you guys for having me, and little things like that. I took advantage of the moment. I fell on the skateboard, which limited my mobility.
Defending coyotes, though, it was. It was with honor.
I was fighting coyotes. I forgot. Nah, but yeah, man, it was a dope experience, and I'm excited to see Tim come out to the skate block party, and he's a good dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there's a lot of great things that came from 120 acres. I think one of the best things that came from it was just the references that it provided. You can't chase what you don't know exists yet. So I think being able to be in a position, in a place where we were able to see this is what it could look like. Imagine if one of us were to buy some property. And it's like now we just have the reference that this is possible.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I mean, 120 acres to me is just a sense of community, a sense of making it happen, and a sense of pushing boundaries, and a sense of escape, but not in the sense of running away from something, but running towards something. Ooh. And escaping from, you know, things that just really don't matter.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, yeah, 120 acres means everything, you know.
Yeah, real good energy there. Real good people. Like meeting KY, meeting Ray, round one. Like everyone is a good soul.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've known them for a long time, and it was my first time meeting them.
No, facts.
Shout out to the fellas. Gosh, hey, KY, that dude's insane when he performs.
Yeah, he's a different beast, bro.
Man, I'm excited to see him perform too for Skateblockparty.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Shout out KY, because I had just texted KY yesterday too. KY is such a thug. He will have work. He has work on the weekends. You remember, like, he didn't stay the night. He came, pulled up, and then went back to work. He's driving 3.5, 3 hours to come out here, perform, and then dipping back so he can go to work at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Damn.
That's
a different breed right there.
You know, you can't talk about work if you ain't talking about how he gets down. So I just have a level of respect for that, man. And but yeah, like 120 acres, that was dope, man. Something else that really I feel like pushed the boundaries is the Spartan Race that you just did. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know because you had that incident on the skateboard leading up to the Spartan Race, there was some uncertainty that might have breeded.
Let me.
Oh, yeah.
Grab this motherfucking medal, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I broke my back for this shit right here, man. Shout out the homies. But I broke my back for this.
So tell me about that experience, man.
All right, so the Spartan Race. Gampa Fit is the one who put me on to the Spartan Race, and I was excited for the challenge. He presented this to me. He informed me about it early January, and I was intimidated by it. I was doing a lot of running, you know, but a 13-mile obstacle course wasn't in my sights. Like that was way out of left field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But and I like looking back at things like this too, because in the beginning of the year I was on some real like take the leap, do what makes you uncomfortable. So I love coming back to those thoughts to remind myself. I like don't forget that. Like it brought good things. You know, do what makes you uncomfortable. You know, don't chase comfort. Yeah. And so the Spartan Race, man, like I said, I was intimidated by it. It was a big challenge, and so that's I was on the verge of like, should I do it? Should I not? And I was like, I told myself, do it. Like, what are you scared of? Like, are you scared to fail? You know, push yourself to the limit. So that's how it all started. Shout out Gampa Fit, personal trainer out there somewhere north of us. You know what I'm saying? Northern California, I would like to say. San Jose, I believe. But, yeah, man. And the Spartan Race itself, I was dead set on completing the obstacles. So like we were saying, I fell. I hurt my leg out there at 120 acres. Yeah. So I couldn't even run the whole month. I couldn't even train for the run itself. So that I was low-key nervous. I didn't run up until the day of the race. So day of the race comes, I'm low-key experienced with running long. Like I know what I need to do, which is like not come out the gate sprinting. Yeah. You know, you got a long race. Take your time. Start off slow. Pick it up a little bit halfway through. So I was dead set on I'm going to run this whole course, 13 miles and some change. I was like, I'm going to run this whole course, but at my pace, nice and slow and steady. And I ended up hurting my back. I fell off an obstacle.
Damn.
Halfway through. Mile 7. I remember it was just after mile 7, man. We had to climb this rope. Rope from post to post. You grab it with your hands, you grab it with your legs, and you shimmy backwards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I was hanging upside down, and I was very determined to complete these obstacles and give them my all if I can't. And so I learned something about myself out there, And I don't remember falling because that's how much I gave of myself, and it felt good to do that. Halfway through the rope, I still had halfway to go. My hands were getting tired.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, like, oh, this is tough, you know?
Yeah.
Keep going, Trap, keep going. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. You know, taking in steps. And then, gosh, bro, I was about I would say 5 hands away from the end. Damn. My hands are losing grip. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, keep going. You're right there. Like, you came all this way to give up at the end? Yeah. Fuck no. And so I told and I was doing it in steps of 3. Come on, Trap. 1, 2. Nigga, I don't remember saying 3. I just remember hitting the floor, bro. I hit the floor and I just landed straight on my back. I was telling my boy Jared, I was like, man, I don't remember falling. I just remember hitting the floor. But like that's how much I gave. And it felt good to know that I gave it all and I fucking left it on the field. But I landed right on my back. I wasn't too high up in the air, but fuck, nigga, 3-4 feet in the air.
That do something to you.
Yeah, just landing straight on your back like that shit knocked the wind out of me, and I couldn't get up for a couple minutes. And they told me they're like you want us to call a medic to come drag you out. I was like, fuck no, yeah. Like nah, I'm not gonna quit at this race halfway through. Yeah. And so after that, I got up, and bro, I had a terrible pain in my back. I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't handle running. I could barely walk without feeling pain. But I was like, I'm going to finish this fucking race. Yeah. 7 more miles, 6 more miles to go. Damn. And at least 15 to 20 obstacles still. And I was committed, man. And I was like, I'm going to attempt every fucking obstacle. And I did it with the messed up back. And, you know, carrying buckets of rocks, sandbags, climbing walls, throwing spears, all with the fucked up back. And I was so determined, man, and it took a lot out of me, you know, monkey bars and shit, but I don't know. I was just determined. I was like, I'm not going to quit, you know, I don't care how fucked up I am. And it's funny because it's not that serious, but I was just like, you know, I put real life situations in my head, like, all right, you know, I had the sandbag on my fucking neck. And I could only carry it on one side of my body because my back hurt on the right side. Yeah. I couldn't put weight over here. It would fucking hurt. So I had to put it on my left side. And so I'm burning. Yeah, but I told myself, I'm like, what if this was your little sister that you're carrying? And you have to make it to safe zone. Yeah. And that's both your guys' life. Like, are you going to give up? Nah, fuck. And you hurt your back out in wherever the fuck you're at. You know, but I made that situation in my head. And, I completed, I would say, out of the 30 obstacles, I completed 25 of them. And, fuck, at least 17 of the obstacles were with the fucked up back, you know? Damn. So, I'm a fucking Spartan. Yeah, man. So, I definitely want to do something like that again. But I learned something about myself out there, and it's just how much I got. And, you know, when you think you're going to give up, you got more in you. Absolutely. We never really know how much we have until we're pushed. Yeah. Boy, was I pushed. Yeah, man. Damn. Yeah. If someone were wanting to push themselves and get into a Spartan race, or maybe it doesn't even have to be as serious as a Spartan race, but they just want to push themselves past their boundaries, you know, what would you tell them to kind of just encourage themselves to doing something like that? I'd have to take it back to the top and say, do what you're scared of, you know? Don't try and be comfortable. Like I said, when he told me about the race, it intimidated me. But, you know, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself and you'll see what you're made of, you know? And that race really tested me. You know, do what you're scared of and you will see what you're made of. Do what you're scared of and you'll see what you're made of. Bar. You bitch. Yeah, man. Epic. Something I'll never forget. And it's funny, too, 'cause I remember speaking with someone. They're like, ticket was like $200. So, like, $200 to torture yourself. I'm like, nah, man, $200 to have an experience of my lifetime that I will always remember. Like, I don't think I'll ever forget this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go out to the club and spend $200 in a night that you ain't going to remember next week. Man. But it's like,
next day even, depending on,
Hello, feeling like shit. I felt like shit a week after, but it's like, it was fun, man. Like I said, I got to learn about me. I got to learn my limits, push past through them, become a stronger man, and at the same time, create a memory that I'll never forget. I could see it in my 60s, like, damn, I remember I did, probably still do a Spartan race in my 60s. Like, I remember my first one, I hurt my back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm way more weathered now.
Yeah. Dare to be uncomfortable.
That's beautiful, man. I'm curious, with everything that's going on right now, we just wrapped up the first quarter of 2024. We're about like 2 weeks into the second quarter. What would you say are some things that you learned this first quarter that you are now moving into the second quarter with? And I just say that because this is really the first year that I'm breaking my year down into quarters. Mm-hmm. You think of every big business, they don't talk about, they talk about the year, but they really break things down into quarters.
Yeah.
So, what were some things that you were able to, that you learned from this last quarter that you reflected on that you want to be able to utilize this quarter, April, May, and June?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Well, gosh, I hate to talk about it again, but stepping out of my comfort zone is one thing that that I would like to bring from the first quarter into the next. Stepping out of my comfort zone and just giving my all to this shit.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, I continue to test myself and put my best foot forward, just things have been going good. And I think they're only getting better. But it's just going to take that consistency to keep working and not be comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Stay hungry.
Yeah. And I think you're exemplifying that really well with, consistency, stepping outside of your comfort zone. You are now a proud owner of an LLC. You know what I'm saying? Everything is looking top tier. You've been going through and getting more merchandise printed. You've been, everything that, I don't feel that you're doing too many things that are new. You're just expanding upon the things that you're already doing, and you're doing them at a bigger level and maybe even a more official level. And so these are just things that I recognize because I talk to you so damn much. I think for me, one of the biggest things that I learned is the importance of being able to unlearn. For instance, like, I realize a lot of growing up is unlearning things that weren't necessarily true, or maybe that did serve you at one point of your life, but aren't really the best things for you at this point in your life. I was reading a book, Key Person of Influence, like a couple years ago, and he said your best thinking 5 years ago is your luggage today, or your luggage today, or your baggage today.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense. Imagine thinking that the future, like Blockbuster is going to make a comeback, or Hollywood Video, or, something like that. Just being able to take a step back and unlearn things. And I think how I want to move into this quarter of that is really just making sure I'm not too set in my ways, not allowing concrete to dry in places that a garden can still rise from, so just kind of being conscious of those things. And kind of like we were talking about prior to being on camera, I started like shooting reels and things like that. So just really going through and really practicing my consistency on that, the way that you've been doing that for months now, and just kind of going through and doing more of that.
All right, two things I want to touch on, just so I could, how you were saying, it's not that I'm doing anything new, but then just to put it in my words is I'm taking it serious now. Like, I was kind of just doing music for fun. I would make clothes for fun, you know?
Yeah.
I would make my reels for fun, but now I'm taking them serious.
That's a great way to put it.
And I think that's where it's showing. It's like, and I think about it too. I'm like, man, I should have been doing this. I should have been had an LLC already. But you know, timing, divine timing. You know, it's everything happens exactly how it's supposed to happen. I had to go through my life and experience life in order to get where I am today and become this consistent person and start taking things serious. You know. Yeah. And then, like how you said, what'd you say about the thinking? Your best thinking 5 years ago is your baggage today. Is your baggage today, you know? And that, man, I think it was LaRussell shared this post, or it was his post. I don't know if it was his quote or he took it from somewhere. But, man, that's been in my head ever since I read it. And it says, your new life is going to cost you your old one. Bars. Man, I was just like, damn, like, that's real as hell, you know? And I'm just excited to see what this, you know, this life that I want. And like I spoke about this morning, you know, I am deserving of the life that I want. But, you know, it's up to me to make that happen. Any other negative thinking is just, it has no room here, you know? It's like, nah, everything that I want, I deserve it. Even if I start to think like, man, that's far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it easy, kid. But it's like, nah, fuck that. It's not far-fetched. It is possible. I deserve it. I do deserve it, you know? You got to have that mind state in order to let it come in, so.
Yeah, I mean, you really start thinking about things, what really is far-fetched? Right. Being alive today is far-fetched. Hello. Being born is far-fetched. The fact that we're on a floating rock is far-fetched. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really... I forget who said it and exactly how it was said, but the premise of it was... Like, when you start feeling like things are too far-fetched or are too, like, impossible or anything, it's just, you're not... Put it in perspective. Uh-huh. Think about the ocean. They always think about how big the ocean is and how much we don't know about the ocean. Yeah. Think about how many stars there are in space. Think about these massive things that we can't even comprehend. And it's like... Now think about what you were talking about. Yeah. It just kind of puts into perspective, like, we're really on a floating rock right now. Nothing is too far-fetched to make happen because somebody else had made happen what we want to make happen. You know? And, I think that's beautiful. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Man. That's deep.
You got to let go of some ways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, you know? Oh, gosh. Yeah, cheers to sobriety, man. I'm on 4 months now.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and I think that's one major thing that's really helped me. And, you know, just being more focused. I said it hypothetically. I think that's the correct way to say it. But I wanted to clear the smoke from my head so I can see clear. Know what I want out of life and chase it, you know? I mean, to be completely honest, I was just fucking up, you know, getting all kinds of messed up. So I had to stop. I was just like, this ain't the way, you know? There's a real good version of me and there's a real bad version of me. And I was like, I don't want to be this person anymore. You know, that's what pushed me there, honestly, you know. But now it allows me to be a real better version of myself, and I'm so grateful I am where I'm at, you know? Yeah. Oh, gosh. What else was I going to get at? And so something I've learned throughout being sober is how to deal with things completely on my own and not having to lean on something, a crutch, you know, to get me through whatever I'm going through. So it's like everything, you know, that life is thrown at me, just even like just little things where it's like, oh man, I'm going to just have a couple drinks so I can forget about this. Yeah. It's like, nah, you're forced to deal with it. And I feel like that's a tool that I'm going to be able to use for the rest of my life. You know, it's like I don't need for nothing to get me through whatever I'm going through. You know, I built that, like... And I love, this makes me think of what you said, you know, everything you need is already inside of you. And so I found these things once I was able to clear the smoke and stop leaning on other things. You know, it took a little digging, it took a little pain to get there, but I'm formidable now. That word just came to my head. I gotta look up the definition, but it sounds about right. They're all, nigga, that's a tortoise. Something crazy, Fuck.
We gotta clip that.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to ask you, too. Arigato.Akiyama.com.
Oh, yeah.
You just dropped a beat tape, correct?
Yep. The Love Hotspot. Yeah, I dropped that beat tape. So those beats were made on my MPC like during the pandemic. And
damn, the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic, bro. I was on my MPC live. I mean, had nothing to do, had nothing but time, you know. I was working from home, and I loved those beats for so long. It's funny, I put out like 5 or 6 other beat tapes before I put this beat tape out, and those beats are way older. I just, you know, I love the beats, but I didn't feel comfortable. Like, I was so in my head at that point, feeling like my mixes weren't good enough, which they weren't good at that point. So, I keep it a buck.
Yeah.
But then there's a difference between technical and taste. There's a balance. You know, it's almost like logic and emotion. It's that paradox, or that polarity, I should say. And my technical was getting there. My ability to mix and everything was building up, but my taste has always been there. My music has always been good from a taste perspective. And I just came across it literally like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, yo, these are hard. Like, I just need to I'm just going to put them out. So, like, I didn't even have the stems, like the individual sounds, to mix it how I really wanted to. But I was like, it doesn't even matter. The beats are dope. I'm going to run it through and do what I can. And once I bounce it out, export it, I'm going to upload it. Like, I tell you, I usually find reference tracks. I listen to it in the car, on my head, before I even, like, send it to you, if it's one of your records. Yeah. I didn't do any of that, bro. Like, I did what I did in, like, one sitting. I didn't even listen to it in the car. I just uploaded it. And I was like, just not, like, releasing the need to feel like it needs to be perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. That's exactly why you need deadlines. And there's so much music from long ago that I never released, like, as an art. Well, you know, I've sent you a lot of these songs as an artist, and I'm just like, man, like, that fear of being perceived a certain way, it's so stupid, because the people who, let's say, are following you, they might not like it, but it's okay if they don't like it, or if they don't vibe with it, or they're not ready to see you that way. That just means you haven't found, you know, your crowd for that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand that now. So now I felt comfortable releasing that. But yeah, I'm going to just go through, start dropping a beat tape a month. And I found like 50 beats. All like, some of them are some of my favorites. Some of them were like, all right, these are whatever. But I'm going to just put them out.
I think the cool thing about that is, I mean, the way I see it, it's a piece of you, you know. Yeah. It's your creation, and I'm a fan of you, you know. And so for those who are as well, you know, it's like, this is a piece of you. You made these at one point. You spent your time and you cooked them up. Yeah. So I'm excited to hear them, you know. Yeah.
Some of my favorite beats, man. Like, some of these beats I made while I was on my break at work. Some of them I made before the pandemic. I feel like some of these I even made when I was, like, homeless. Some of these made when I got my first spot. So it was like a wide range. It was like a year before the pandemic, and a year after the pandemic, kind of like. So there was just, it's an important beat tape to me, because, like, I remember, like, when I hear my music, it's like I remember where I was at. I don't necessarily remember me making the beats, but I can hear what I was going through when I made beats.
A pinch in time.
Yeah, it's like it just automatically, like, brings me back to that. Yeah. So it's like I can tell when I was feeling certain things just by the space I leave in my beats or the sound selection. So that's why I'm excited to put this out, because that was a very, that was a critical point in my life. So to put it out all these years later where I'm just like, damn, I remember, like, damn, I'm at where I wanted to be at that point.
That's dope.
So.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Gumbo Groove, man.
Yes, sir.
Shall we talk about the skate block party coming up?
Yeah, I think that's fitting. So, 4th skate block party. This is the 4th one. I don't know when we'll necessarily drop this video. The flyer will probably already be out, but having producer Trent Taylor pull up from Phoenix, Alexander Malik pull up from Phoenix, the homie Tim from mid-90s is pulling up from San Diego along with Ruben. We have Fashawn performing, a SoCal native from Fresno. Obviously, Trapper is going to be in the building with a booth set up too, you know what I'm saying, with all the merch, all the goods. And KY driving in from, down South LA area. And just a lot of stuff. The homie Skunk. Just a lot of people are going to be coming to this. A lot of Gumbo Groove representation, Dope House, mid-90s. And I'm really excited about this one because, like I said, this is the 4th one. I've had a chance to bump my head against the wall on the first 3. And I'm just excited to be able to bring community. Like, one of the things I'm most proud of is all the vendors that ever pulled up always profited when they came. So people who had paintings, whatever they sold, people were able to make money at my event. And so that's something I'm excited about. Working on getting some professional skaters there. We were kind of talking about that too. Just to elevate it, like better performances, because there's just better studio or better equipment out there, louder. Just raise the stakes. Yeah, I'm just raising the stakes on everything.
You made me flash back to one of the first skate block parties. We had that little boom box.
That wasn't it.
It died like twice.
It died twice. But that's how it is. I was even telling Tim about it. I was like, I'm getting videographers, photographers this one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know how I run around. Like that whole week. Alex was with me too. The week before, he had came in from Phoenix and he just saw me. Like, people don't even know, like, I got the music equipment. I found the sound the night before.
Yeah.
I got T-shirts printed and everything 2 nights before, or the day before.
Yeah.
Like, putting these things together, like, it's just, some people don't even care to know that stuff, but I mean, I think any entrepreneur or anybody who's trying to actually do something realizes nothing ever goes perfect with these things. Yeah. There's always something. So, but yeah, man, you've always pulled up to the skate block parties. You always show love, and I'm excited to just have you there, because there's a few songs that are going to be performed that haven't been released yet.
For sure.
So, yeah, I mean, what are just kind of some of your thoughts of skate block party from like an outsider's perspective?
I'm honestly just like reflecting back. I'm playing this shit over in my head. I remember there was this last, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, but gosh, man, they've all had their ups. Not really much downs, honestly,
Yeah.
Learning experiences.
Definitely learning
experiences. For sure,
yeah.
But it was
generator ran out of gas and shit.
Yeah, but it was all good timing, man. It's all, I remember someone was performing and there was like just a younger generation there, and they were just like eating it up, man.
That was when Snugs was performing.
Yeah.
I remember Fable, rest in peace, our brother Fable, man. He was Snugs was performing on a beat, and Fable was just gigging. That was the second skate block party. Okay. It was the second. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. It was just like everybody was kind of wrapped around that corner of it, and that's the one Cisco came and recorded at, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that was the second one, man. Yeah, the crowd just went wild, man. I want to be able to recreate that, but on a whole other level.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this upcoming skate block party. I think everybody needs to show up. It's gonna be dope. I'm gonna have a performance. I'm gonna go crazy. But then to see Trent in his zone again, dope ass producer. KY, he's an amazing performer. You know what I mean?
In general, yeah.
Yeah, the way he fucking lets his music run through him, that shit's amazing. Everyone's gonna get to meet Tim. If you see him from my recent interviews, he's gonna be there. I'm excited for this. I really want to see the skaters show out. Like, I'm excited to see a dope skate comp. My cousin at Captivate Skate Shop, he always pulls up. He's got some merch. He's giving away decks to the skaters, things like that, man. Home cooked food or grilled on the spot. Actually,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Skate block special.
I'm excited for it all, and I'm excited to see everybody there. It's gonna be a dope one. You guys aren't gonna want to miss this for sure.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a book drive. Just inspire intelligence. You know what I'm saying? I think that's big. And we'll have skateblockparty merch and just all that stuff. But for the most part, it's just about having a great time.
I think the word community really rings out in my head thinking about skateblockparty. And I like how you mentioned the paintings and the book drive. Shout out to Crispy for the book drive. I like to say we're a little knowledgeable. I still have books that I got from the last one. I got a painting in my garage from the last one. So little mementos. Skate block parties near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just grateful that people pull up and want to have a great time as much as I want to have a great time. Like that's really what makes a skate block party. People wanting to have a great time as much as I do.
Yeah.
And they see what I'm trying to do, and they're looking for ways to assist and help with that.
And Crispy, just a 10 out of 10 host. The way you run the show, man.
Thank you.
You bring it all together, bro. You could make everything happen, but without like someone to host the event.
Yeah.
What's next? You know what I'm saying? So you really, man, you got it going, and this is gonna. And like you said, we've had all these learning experiences, so I'm really excited for this one. It's gonna be amazing. I'm proud of where we're at, and
absolutely.
And we're still only getting started.
This is just scraping the surface, man. I'm telling you, just like conversations you and I I just talking to Trent and Tim yesterday, just talking with people I'm just really, really close to. I know things are always going to work out for me because I see how God works in the people around me. I see how the people around me are blessed, and I'm a byproduct of whatever comes from that, so I'm just excited because like I said, seeing you get your LLC, right, and then seeing KY and Trent go back to New York for the second time, just seeing Max out there in the Bay Area open up his another barbershop, seeing Alex, thrive with what he's doing with his music and songwriting, just all these things. Like when I see people around me, my brother Alan Anthony out there in Vegas, just taking the studio to the whole other level. When I see those types of things, it doesn't even matter if I had anything to do with it. Just the fact that it's being done and I'm close to these people, it's like, that's beautiful. Okay, cool. I know everything's working out because it's working out for them, regardless of what my situation looked like. So I know Skate Block Party is going to look great because I talked to everybody and everybody's on their shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, for sure. This is gonna be one of those ones, man.
This is gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we?
Man, I just say last thing is I know you and I have a project that we've been sitting on it for like a year.
Sitting on it.
For a year.
For sure, yeah, it's been a year.
I guess I'm just excited to. I guess we don't even really have to talk about that one too much because we're gonna be getting everything together for that, but just know that there's a project in the works, and it's some of my favorite work that I've ever done, but also ever heard. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Gumbo Trap, we got some heat for y'all, and if you guys show up to the skate block party, you're gonna hear some of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. So coming soon, dropping soon. But Talks with Trap. Appreciate you having me, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Y'all be good to yourselves. Watch out.
And then you also see the red lights above the...
Oh, yeah.
The glasses, man.